It's been valuable in that I've got a captive audience in a peer group where we can share ideas and share opinions as well as solutions. We've also had a very good representation from a vendor base that is relevant to today's information technology enablement. So it's been valuable in both fronts, and I'm hoping that it's been just as valuable for the vendors to interact with a group of decision makers they otherwise will not get to meet in a setting of this nature. So the reason I get amongst the vendors is because it's not a sales call. It's all about bringing value and sharing ideas. So the questions the last 2 days have been around, where are your concerns? What are you trying to enable? Versus what can we sell you? And I think there's value in that. And I believe that is indeed their motive at the moment, which is not to sell anything, but to find out what the value proposition is for people. And I think in that regard, it is a free and open forum on which to share ideas versus being a seller and a buyer. It's helped in two ways. One, the potential solutions or future technologies are being represented and discussed at various levels. Some are being introduced to certain technologies, some are mature in certain technologies, some have great experiences with emerging technologies, such as Spin Master Limited for that matter with cloud computing. And on the other front, I can ask a question, let's say, around business analytics that relates to retail, but a financial institution could ask a very, very probing question around analytics, around financials. So I immediately learn something from listening to that interaction, right? Whereas if I had a one-on-one session with a vendor, I'm only talking about my industry. I think it's valuable. So as a Chief Technology Officer, you get invited to many conferences, meetings, think tanks from various different groups like Gartners of the world, SAPs of the world, and in this case, my peer group, right? In the end, this invitation is from a peer group and a set of suppliers and partners who wanted to support my peer group. So the question is, how do I prioritize? Well, in this case, it was going to be always a two-way interaction, one with the peers, second with the partners, and some incumbent, some potential, and I think that's really valuable. So I'll give you an example. If you go to SAP Sapphire, fantastic session. You get to learn from others around a single domain. You get to learn about emerging technologies from a single vendor for the most part. Gartner is all about how do you measure, how do you improve, how do you collect sort of interaction, where here, everything goes. So it's kind of like the board of trade discussion, right? I want to start a new business, I want to know how to start, and I want to know how to become a rich man, right? So that's what I've got from here. The single most favorite part, it would have to be the think tanks and the roundtables. So the think tanks are good in that you get to learn from someone else's experience and then sort of think and in some cases ask the opposing viewpoint, right? So there was a presentation from Avaya which was fantastic, which was about a second life. It was about a virtual world in which we collaborate safely. But you know, the opposing question is, all this takes, first of all, a change in mindset, not a change in technology. How do you ever achieve that, right? So those are interesting. So I think that's the best example I can give you in terms of finding value.